Let me introduce you to Douchebag of the Week.
This piece, he's a CEO from Poland. He steals the hat from this kid.
When I saw the video of the guy pulling that cap away from the kid, I literally did this.
What an arrogant piece of crap. Like, that is, it's outrageous that this man would do that. Just grab the hat out of the kid's hands. I feel bad for the kid.
Imagine being so rich you can buy an entire warehouse of hats, but instead you decide to steal one from a kid at the US Open like it's Black Friday at Walmart.
Well, from winning to losing at the US Open, the CEO of a Polish company has come out with an apology after a video went viral showing him snatching a hat away from a child that had been signed by a tennis player. Watch this.
A grown man on live TV snatched a gift meant for a kid. That single moment at the US Open turned a feel-good fan interaction into a reputation meltdown, and the internet has not let it go. You've probably seen the clip. A player reaches into the crowd to hand over a cap. A boy named Brock is right there, eyes wide, arm out. The kind of moment a kid remembers forever. And then a well-dressed man leans in, grabs the hat first, and holds on while the crowd gasps. Before we go deeper, if you appreciate fast, balanced breakdowns that cut through the noise, hit like right now and subscribe. Drop a quick comment with your first reaction to the clip, greedy move or honest mistake. Your take might show up in the next video.
So that's right, that was a grown man in the stand stealing that hat from a child after the winner of the US Open match, Kamil Marchek. He greeted the fans and he gave the kid his hat.
What happened next is why this story exploded. The player, celebrating a win and trying to give back, clearly aimed the cap toward Brock. That's what the cameras captured. That's what the crowd felt. But just before the cap reached the kid's hands, the man slid in and claimed it. Brock pulled back. You can see the disappointment in his face. It's instant, it's awkward. It's the kind of clip that loops perfectly for social media. And within hours, it did. People slowed it down, zoomed in, posted side-by-side angles, and stitched the moment into their own commentary. The words flying around were brutal. Greedy, shameless, bizarre. The court had moved on, but the internet had just gotten started.
His character was revealed for all of us to see, and it is not looking good.
The hat thief has been identified as Piotr Tatarek, the wealthy head of a Polish pavement company.
Once the clip went viral, the crowdsourced detectives did what they do best. They paused frames, checked tags, traced seats, and started connecting dots. The man was identified online as a Polish CEO, linked to a paving company that, according to posts, does business across Europe. Whether people knew him or not didn't matter. He suddenly had a name, a face, and a searchable history attached to a 5-second decision. That's when things tipped from cringe to crisis. Memes landed, comments spiraled, and search results for his company got hijacked by the scandal. Try to find a brochure, and you'd hit threads and headlines instead. That is a PR nightmare no one budgets for.
And after the video went viral, Marchek then asked his fans to help him find the aggrieved child, and they did, and he made the...
The player later took to Instagram and said, "After the match, I didn't record that my cap didn't get to that young boy." He then put a call out to find the boy. And luck was on his side, reuniting with the fan after the match to give him a cap.
Meanwhile, the tennis player didn't ignore it. He posted, asking the internet to help find the kid. And they did. Brock was tracked down and the player made it right. Meeting him, signing memorabilia, adding extras, turning a sour moment into something Brock could still smile about. That part of the story is simple and good. But it didn't erase the other half. For the man in the clip, the clock kept ticking. Comment sections kept boiling and pressure built for him to say something, anything. Because silence when a video is playing on repeat sounds like guilt to a lot of people.
Today apologizing for the incident, saying in part, "I take full responsibility for my extremely poor judgment and hurtful actions."
He says he believed the hat was meant for his sons. His apology came days after the incident. He said,
adding that he did not intend to steal the hat from the boy and that it was sent back to him, hoping to repair any harm he may have caused.
Days later, he finally spoke. A formal statement went up on his company's site. He apologized to the boy, the family, the fans, and the player. He claimed he thought the cap was being handed to him or to his sons in the chaos, that it was a misunderstanding and a pact moment. He denied a wave of quotes spreading online, posts that allegedly used his voice to taunt critics, threaten legal action, or spin the moment like it meant nothing. He said those weren't his words. He said he never wrote them. He locked down comments to protect his family. On paper, it's the responsible move. In practice, it made people even more suspicious. Here's why the apology struggled. The video told one story, his statement told another. In the clip, he doesn't tentatively reach. He takes. The kid resists. There's a small back and forth. If you've watched it, you know the energy. It doesn't feel like confusion. It feels like a choice. So when the explanation landed, crowd noise, mixed signals, wrong place, wrong moment, people replayed the footage and asked the obvious. If you thought the cap was yours, why ignore the kid's reaction? Why clamp down when you feel a small hand pulling back? That mismatch, video versus explanation, is where trust collapsed.
Everything is public. People are listening. People are recording. You just never know when you're going to end up going viral.
And now this guy's really out here giving TED Talks on first come, first serve. Bro, you're a millionaire CEO, not a kid in the lunch line fighting over the last chicken nugget.
And then the rumor machine kicked into high gear. Posts popped up claiming he snapped at the boy with a cold line, if you were faster, you'd have it. Or that his legal team wanted to silence criticism. Let's be clear, those claims remain unverified. He denied them. Outlets that covered the story flagged those quotes as unconfirmed. But here's the problem with the modern outrage cycle. By the time anyone says, "Wait, are we sure?" the crowd has already moved on to the next punchline. Memes travel faster than corrections. The man wasn't just the villain in the video anymore. He was the villain in the comments too. The business blowback was real. Search results got flooded. Brand sentiment flipped. A company that might spend years cultivating a clean image can't outrun a clip that hits every nerve. A powerful adult taking something from a kid, a feel-good sports moment turned sour, a face that looks calm while a child looks crushed. That's storytelling in a single frame. It's why this didn't stay a niche tennis moment. It jumped across platforms and into living rooms. People who don't follow tennis were suddenly debate coaching this thing in group chats and at the office coffee machine.
Dog Brock, based in Poland, were scathing, with one person saying, "Disgrace of a man. Seeing a grown man, a CEO no less, snatch a cap meant for a child was embarrassing. Moments like that are about joy and inspiration for kids, not memorabilia hoarding. Leadership is shown in small acts too, and this one spoke volumes. Disgusting. Success clearly doesn't buy class."
If there's one bright spot, it's what the player did with the aftermath. He found the kid. He over-delivered. He turned a PR disaster not of his making into a reminder of why we love sports in the first place. The human moments, the grace under pressure, the chance to fix something you didn't break. Brock got a memory he'll keep. The player got respect for stepping in. But the man in the suit, he got a lesson you only learn the hard way. In an always-on world, the camera doesn't just watch, it judges. And then it asks millions of strangers to judge with it. Let's zoom out. Was this a misunderstanding? It's possible. Big events are chaotic. Crowds are loud. If you squint, you can imagine a person thinking the cap was coming their way. But that's not what the video looks like. And in public narratives, what it looks like is everything. Online, intent matters less than impact. The impact here was simple. A child looked robbed of a moment. The man looked entitled. No string of press release words can reverse that. To win the crowd back, you don't just apologize. You do something that reads as unmistakably generous. You show up visibly beyond the minimum.
Imagine standing in court like, "Your Honor, they're calling me a bitch for stealing a kid's hat." Dude, that's not defamation. That would just be a live recap of what actually happened. And the jury would probably roast you harder than Twitter did.
This is where the apology didn't land. It had the right boxes, sorry to the boy, sorry to the family, sorry to the fans, but it didn't have the moment that changes minds. There was no public handoff, no clear gesture, no photo that said, "I understand why this hurt and I'm fixing it." Instead, we got a statement behind limited comments and a reminder that lots of posts were fake. That might all be true. It might be smart legal strategy. But it's not how you put out a viral fire. To do that, you walk straight into the frame that burned you and you replace it with a better one. There's a deeper cultural thread here. We love instant heroes and instant villains. A single freeze frame can define you for years. It's not fair, it's not complete, but it's real. That's why powerful people need to understand the power of optics. If you're in the front row, if the camera can see you, assume the camera is telling a story about you. In that story, your micro decisions become headlines. A shrug becomes a quote. A reach becomes a verdict. The man in the suit reached. The kid recoiled. The court kept playing. The internet did not.
I take full responsibility for my extremely poor judgment and hurtful actions, adding he returned the hat to the boy to repair the harm I caused. Turns out, the kid ended up with 2 hats. Through social media, the tennis star tracked him down and gave him another.
For Brock, this ends well enough. He got his moment, even if it came a beat late. For the player, it's a reminder that small gestures matter and that sports stars can still be the adults in the room when grown-ups don't act like it. For the man in the clip, the chapter isn't closed. Because now he carries a digital tag that searches can't shake easily. Whenever his name trends again, new deal, new project, new anything, this hat story will surface right next to it. That's the price of a 5-second decision in the age of infinite replay. So what should he do now? If he truly wants to reset the narrative, he needs something tangible. Publicly meet Brock, hand over something meaningful, make a donation to a youth tennis program in the kid's name, stand next to the player and say the words out loud without legalese. Own the moment the way the moment owns him. That's how you turn a loss into a slow rebuild. Quiet posts and closed comments won't do it. People don't trust fences, they trust actions.
Also, shame on that guy's girlfriend who was an accomplice and hid it in her bag and then was taking pictures.
And then taking selfies.
There's one more angle worth mentioning. Viral outrage often paints in black and white, but there's usually gray. Maybe he panicked. Maybe he thought the cap was floating to his side. Maybe he didn't hear the boy. We can hold space for human error and still tell the truth about impact. The boy felt robbed. The crowd felt cheated. And millions of viewers felt like they watched entitlement in real time. Those feelings are valid even if the intent wasn't malicious. Both things can be true, but only one of them is on video. If you've made it this far, you know this story isn't just about a cap. It's about status, optics, and what people expect from adults around kids. It's about how quickly a reputation can flip when the smallest gesture looks wrong. It's about how to apologize in a way that actually lands, or how to watch your words drift past an audience that's already decided. And it's about the internet's favorite sport, replaying a moment until it becomes a symbol.
You could file all the lawsuits you want, but the court that actually matters has already found you guilty of being a bitch.
Here's the question I'll leave you with. If the cameras weren't rolling, would there have been an apology at all? Or would this have faded into the buzz of a chaotic night? Another strange little moment nobody could prove? That's the power of the lens. It doesn't just record, it demands a response. Sometimes a better one than we're ready to give. If you're here for straight up, no nonsense breakdowns like this, tap like so more people see it, and drop your verdict in the comments. Misread moment or a mask off move that showed true character. And if you want more sharp dives into the stories everyone's arguing about, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next.